Hello, hello. We're actually doing this. My name is Gesi, and welcome to Serious Conversations with Gesi. First, first episode. Actually, technically, I recorded a couple other episodes before this, where I had conversations with other friends. But this is probably going to be the first one I post. Yeah. Uh, as the name implies, I will be having serious conversations. Uh, with other people, with my friends mostly. Uh, I decided to do this because one, I listen to a good amount of podcasts, a good number of hours, and I realized, hey, I can do this too. And secondly, I felt that there weren't really any podcasts making honest, authentic content. Maybe authentic's not the word, but like just honest content. I felt there was a lot of educational or like self-improvement stuff trying to get you to be better or kind of toss information at you. Uh, but there wasn't any, like in between. The way I describe this is just kind of conversations that make you appreciate the middle things about being human or about having friends. It's not always about optimizing for life or necessarily trying to be better or even trying to be in the moment so you can be your whole Zen Buddhist self. I think good there should be a space that just kind of appreciates us people for who and what we are right now and kind of hold space for the simple things like laughing with friends over some stupid thing that happened, I don't know, a year ago, or having conversations over nothing, you know, or going from talking about hot chocolate to figuring out uh, who would, if hot chocolate was a person, would it, I don't know, would it, would it win coffee in a fight? Like just stupid random rants. Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm doing this. First episode, I think it's a lot different when I recorded the other conversations where I had friends. Uh, Now I think I kind of know how they felt. It's different when like I'm I guess I'm on camera, it's my face, but also in the sense that there is an expectation for me to I don't know perform not perform because that's kind of the opposite of what I'm doing here, but to provide something, you know, it's like what's he gonna say next? Him being me. And it's a little nerve wracking. I think we'll be fine. I was gonna start off with 2025 review. So let's check it out. By the way, it's 2026. I was listening to the Chris Williamson podcast or Modern Wisdom, the official name, and he talked about doing a year in review as opposed to setting new 2026 intentions. And I was like, oh, that sounds really smart. So why don't I do that? So I did a little year in review. I actually wrote it down here. Notes. So, I started off my year in January, just coming off uh, family vacation, which was actually really good. It had been a long time since we had all been together, all being my family together, and it surprisingly warmed my heart. There was a moment where everybody had kind of walked away, and I was just I was trailing behind because I was locking the door, or I needed to pee. Probably I needed to pee, and everyone was in front of me, and I was just like, "Wow, like this hasn't happened in a long time." That really warmed my heart. And when I got back to Toronto to continue my life as a bright, young, thirsty for knowledge uh, college student, uh, there was a sense of like I really missed them. Uh, hasn't happened in a while. I've been I've been in boarding school since the sixth grade or seventh grade technically. So that's about 10 years now. I got in 2013, so that's well over 10 years actually. Uh, Counting 2026, that'd be 15 years. Sorry, 13 years. Yeah, it'd be 13 years, and last year it'd be 12 years. And I thought I really got over the whole missing your family thing, but I really missed them when I got back, and was pretty emotional for most nights. Same thing in February. There was a big sense of it was like I oh it was like I could no longer ignore how much I miss them or how much I miss having like family around me or the weird safeness I felt around family. And I don't think it was necessarily even anything they did or that, Toronto is unsafe. Toronto is pretty safe. It was just a feeling of having, your mom and dad around you that maybe is like innately calming. It's very weird. And then I got back to Toronto and I kind of couldn't ignore that anymore. And in February, kind of the same feeling kept going on. Uh, Quite an emotional first quarter or third, technically, first 4 months of 2025. And then Valentine's Day hit, and I kind of hate Valentine's Day. Okay, I don't hate it, but I guess I don't enjoy it. Uh, and I kind of crashed out there, which was pretty funny. Uh, because like it was so funny because I was out there trying to organize events for a couple for like my job, and I was like trudging carrying uh, cake in the snow so that other people would have like a great Valentine's Day, and I forgot my gloves, so I was like out in the cold. It was a very cold day, and then while I'm trying to do this so that other people can have a great Valentine's Day, I'm freezing my ass off, and I just kept seeing other like just couple after couple. I was just and it was insane because you don't see them that much, but on that day, it was just everywhere. And I guess I don't get jealous, but maybe I was. Uh, and then in March, I think I applied for my summer internship. I got that. I actually got it at a conference, which is very interesting. How I got that? I just literally walked up and be like, "Hey, this is what I do," uh, and they were like, "Oh, we have a position," and I followed up, and it kind of worked its way out since from then on. My interview was literally 15 minutes, and when I got the job, I asked my boss why my interview was only that long. 15 minutes is even a stretch. Probably like only like 5, 10, 2 questions, 3 questions. And he said that it was because I really took my time to answer. Like I really, with each question, I really thought through it. And that made me, I mean, it was good to know I did something right because in my head, uh, I was, I don't know, I think I've always had this thing about where I felt there was something about preparation that is dishonest. And I don't mean like reading to know, but I just feel like rehearsing things like what matters to you, what's most important to you, and why. Uh, there's just something about it's like you rehearse that line so many times that by the time you say it, it's not really you, it's just the stuff that you've packed in to know at that time. Or even like a funny thing is even with leak code, I think sure it's great to keep your programming skills sharp, but then by the time you grind leak code enormously before you take the coding assessments, and your evaluation on the coding assessments doesn't necessarily reflect you as a as a long-term asset in the company or the team. It was just like how much you grinded leak code and how locked in are in the programming headspace are you. And so it's great that I guess my vulnerability in that sense, or like my openness, actually paid off, you know, uh, to not give like con- reconstructed answers. And to be fair, like most of the basic questions he asked me, even I don't remember them now. Uh, these are questions I've answered multiple times. I've also been like technically officially trained on how to answer those kind of questions. So I did have a framework, but there was, uh, and I did prepare, uh, maybe over prepared too, but there was a level of, uh, I'm just gonna say what I thought was true, and I hope it worked out, and it kind of did work out. So speak your truth, boys and girls, and anyone in between. Yeah, and then in April, I had to decide. I got the job offer officially, and I had to decide whether or not I was gonna do that for my summer. It's very interesting because I was in a bit of a conundrum. I was trying to decide between. I was trying to decide between taking that job or just working on my own project for an entirety of summer. And I talked to a professor about it, and I was like, I'm really committed to, working on this project for the entire summer. But then I got this job offer, and I'm thinking if I could do both. And then even before I finished the statement, he was like, I'm gonna stop you there because if you say you were really committed, it doesn't seem like it because once you got an exit, you took it, which was the job offer. I was like, damn, maybe I'm not that committed. For other reasons, I ended up taking the job, and I worked it over the summer. But there was a big sense of regret, and I think almost every day I remembered what my professor said about how maybe I wasn't really committed. Well, in May, I started working for my summer job, uh, which was pretty great, pretty fun. Uh, I was also in some kind of incubator, and so I was doing a lot of pitching too. So that was pretty fun. It was great to get that experience, go on stage, realize I can be really funny on stage. Actually, I kind of knew that, but I guess I just hadn't been tapping into that side of myself for a while. Uh, June was my birthday. I had a dilemma. Do I throw a party again, or do I just have a nice dinner? And I decided to have a nice dinner and karaoke, which is very interesting. Uh, very, very interesting. Just because I think everybody loved the dinner. I think most people liked the dinner. Took them to a Nigerian restaurant. Shout out to Afrobeats Kitchen in Toronto. They really took care of us pretty good. I was concerned the food wasn't going to be enough, but there was like leftover for days. There was a decent amount of leftover. Let's say people were taking to go bags, and that was great. Uh, and then uh, we did karaoke, a bunch of singing, blah blah blah. I didn't do the party, uh, just because parties were kind of expensive to plan. Took a lot of mental and I guess actual financial costs. And I was like, didn't really feel like going into all of that, especially in Toronto. If you wanna, the best thing is to find a decently priced party room, and a lot of the ones I was finding were like way more than I wanted to pay. And then we moved to July. My parents came over, and then in August, my parents came over in July and August, and I was kind of getting close to the end of the semester, sorry, end of the summer. Uh, my parents being around kind of spurred me to uh, go back to church, so I was doing that for some time, and yeah, and then summer ended, and then school started again in September, and it was just grind after grind. But I don't know. Looking back, I mean, obviously, I skipped a whole lot of gray, but I think the one thing I got from uh, doing my review was that the only things that worked last year were the things I put effort in, which I know like sounds so simple, sounds like it should make sense, like it should be the intuitive thing, but to me it was just kind of eye opening. I don't know. I guess I kind of thought that things would kind of work itself out, and things would appear and opportunities would make things clearer. And yes, I mean there was a good amount of that happened, but there is still such a big space for actually taking steps continuous, consistent steps towards what you actually want to happen, towards what I actually want to happen. Uh, and that's my intention for 2026. I uh, I only have two 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 real resolutions for this year. Uh, I have to check because I wrote it down too. Uh, and one of those is one is to post a YouTube video every year, and the other one is to sign a lease on a one bedroom apartment. Those are my only two goals this year, which I guess is funny. Somebody might say that's not ambitious enough, but I find doing less sometimes is more. Uh, my overarching theme is kind of worry less, have more fun, and that's I think that's also why like those are just my two resolutions, especially because uh, one is super practical, post a YouTube video every day, every week, super practical, and the other one, signing a lease. Uh, who knows? Who knows how that's gonna happen? But it's a good balance of my own effort doing something I should do, which is posting a video every week, yeah, and a good another balance of leaving space for opportunity for the magic to happen. Because if you ever look for a house, you can't control all the variables, and you're almost only 50% of the equation, especially if you're in a budget. So, or I think depending on what your budget is, essentially. So, yeah, I said I was going to do this for 20 minutes to start. And I did. Very happy I did. Uh, if you're one of the, God knows how many people watch this, maybe 10. Uh, let's be realistic for 10, because I think I can attract 10 people. Come on, and have a whole haircut and everything. uh, if you're part of the 10 people watching this, and if you actually stay till the end, uh, thank you for being a part of the start. Uh, thank you for being a part of the start. Thank you for being patient. Uh, let me know more of what you want. I guess like, comment, subscribe, classic stuff. Um, no, but really, thank you, and let this be the start of a good journey for us. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.